opened up. Thanks, Adonai. Was everyone able to get into their channel? Cool. Okay, small group today. Maybe we can do our icebreaker out loud, which is always so fun. So the icebreaker of the month is weirdest food you've ever eaten. This was suggested by one of you last time. But I'm adding a little caveat from when I was in a past life when I taught young kids how to cook in a kitchen. What we would do, we'd say, don't yuck someone else's yum. Okay, so that's like a preschool teacher version of saying, like, be respectful of other people's preferences. So we're gonna go around, we'll say our name. You can say where you're located, and then the weirdest food you've ever eaten. So I'll start. Mickey Davis, she, her, based here in Broomfield with CDA. And when I was a younger woman and too busy, I guess, to sit down and enjoy life, I used to like eat frozen bread, like have bread in the freezer and just like not take the time to defrost it before eating it. So that might be the weirdest food. And I will pass it to Tajay. Tajay might. Oh,
they put a message in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Oh, shoot. Bummer. Okay. Taylor, do you want to jump in?
Sure. I'm Taylor. I'm in Denver. I'm calling from the Ag and Food Lab. And probably the weirdest food I've ever eaten is natto, which is fermented soybeans. And it's often served in sushi, and it was quite intense. I'll pass it to Jay.
Jay Sanders with the San Luis Valley Local Foods Coalition. I am in Saguache County in the San Luis Valley. And yeah, this is kind of tricky. I did just have Rocky Mountain oysters 2 days ago. And then this other thing that I think it probably is like uncommon is nettles. I love eating sauteed nettles, and I have them growing in my yard now. They're really, really tasty and good for you. So I'm going to pass it to Angela.
Hi, sorry about the background noise. My name is Angela. I am in Aurora. I'm contracted with Food Justice Northwest Aurora, and happy to be here. I would say alligator is probably the weirdest food I've had. So nice to meet you all.
Let's see.
Yeah, sorry.
Dolores. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Dolores, would you like to jump in? We're saying our name, where we're from, and the strangest food we've ever eaten.
I'm sorry, who you called?
I called on Dolores, but if she is unable to chime in, that's okay.
Okay, sorry. I had problems with my computer and I'm crazy today. I think the taste for the duck, don't like it. And never try again, or with grasshopper. You know, in Mexico they use a lot, but not for me. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Carly, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm glad everybody else is having a crazy day. I'm on babysitting duty today, so I'm a little running around. Yeah, my name's Carly Donahue. We're up in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm with the Northern Colorado Food Shed Project. I'm originally from Oregon. Let's see, what's the weirdest thing I've eaten? I have eaten quite a few cockroaches. There was a project at a place I was working where we were thinking about bug protein. A little too crunchy for me. Yeah.
Thanks, Carly, and welcome. Nemo, would you like to go?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Nemo. I use they, them pronouns, and I work with the Jefferson County Food Policy Council. I'm not an adventurous eater, so but I guess maybe this is weird. I feel like some people have been surprised by it before, but a friend of mine introduced me to having salt and vinegar chips with cottage cheese, and it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, so that's mine. Thank you. Do you want me to popcorn it?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, I'm not too sure who hasn't gone yet. Maybe Jay?
Jay did go,
Oh, okay.
but we could bounce it over to Ere. Have you didn't share quite yet.
Gracias. Puedo compartir que en un aniversario de bodas, mi esposo tuvo la excelente idea de invitarme a comer, a cenar a un restaurante exótico de carnes y probé lo que fueron las piernas de rana y piel de víbora. No lo vuelvo a hacer en mi vida. Y el próximo año cumplimos 30 años de casados y le mandé una carta pidiéndole que prefiero mac and cheese en vez de esas cosas. Sí, gracias.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing and congratulations on 30 years. That's a big deal. Well, how about Jennifer? Would you like to share? Jennifer, can you hear us? Maybe not. Okay, Chelsea, how about you? Oh, there's Jennifer. Jennifer, your phone is on mute, unfortunately.
Okay, now I'm on. I apologize. I'm on my phone and I can't figure out how to operate Zoom. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Jennifer. Let me see. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've just started a new contract with this group of wonderful people. I'm excited that I know so many people on the call. Probably strangest thing I've ever eaten is camel. And I think that's all.
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, Monique, would you like to share?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Monique Matas dialing in from Pueblo, Colorado. I eat raw potatoes on a regular basis. I'm gonna go with that. I eat all kinds of things. I'm really not picky whatsoever, but usually that one gets an eyebrow raise when people see me munching on a raw potato.
Never heard of that before. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Chelsea, would you like to jump in?
Yes, hello, sorry. My name is Chelsea. I work at the Community Food Bank in Grand Junction. And one weird food that I like, I don't know that I like a lot of weird foods, I guess. I really like kimchi, which some people think is weird, but that's all.
Awesome. Thanks, Chelsea. Okay, how about Hallie?
Hi everyone, my name is Hallie. My pronouns are she, Aya. I work with the Jeffco Food Policy Council, and I like to try any kind of food once when I'm traveling. Earlier this year, I went to Iceland with my siblings and tried fermented shark, and that's one that I wouldn't eat again, but I did try it.
Good to try. Thanks, Hallie. Okay, Perdita.
Good morning, everyone. This is Perdita down here in Pueblo with RMSCR. So for other people, this is not weird, but I think that the Minnesota type of salad, which is like Jello and cream cheese and marshmallows, I think that's weird.
Thanks, Perdita. Okay, Patience. Are you still on here? Yeah, there's Patience.
Yep, I'm here. Patience. Kabwasa, good morning, everyone. Calling from Colorado Springs with Food to Power. And I really like beets. I don't know if that's like extraordinary, but I like to juice them.
Awesome. Thanks, Patience. Okay, Jesus, I think. We got Jesus and Lauren left.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Jesus. I'm one of the assistant directors here at Community Food Bank in Grand Junction. I'd say that one of the weirdest foods, for not so much for me, but for other people, in Mexico, we drink pulque, which is just the fermented salve that comes from the agave plant. It is white, viscous, slightly acidic. The texture weirds a lot of people out, but it is, traditionally considered as one of the sacred drinks over there. So, yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. I've never heard of that. I'm learning a lot from this icebreaker. Thanks to whoever suggested it. Okay, Lauren, I think you are left.
Morning, everyone. My name is Lauren, she, her pronouns with the Good Food Collective in Southwest Colorado. Like others, I'm also like running around in my car right now, so I'm not turning my camera on. But I can't think for some reason of adventurous food that I've eaten in my life. So just something strange that I used to like when I was a kid was Kraft macaroni and cheese with ketchup mixed in.
Nice. The delicacy.
That is a
Almost said that
delicacy.
one. I just want you to know, I almost said that one.
Wow, that's a popular one. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Michelle, would you like to share?
Hi, everyone. Michelle Meyer with Colorado Department of Agriculture. I'm up in Steamboat Springs where it did snow up high. So yay for those of us that are excited about snow. Sorry for those of you that are not into that. It'll melt. It'll be fine. One of the strange things I've eaten, I had the opportunity to travel with my daughter through Europe a couple years ago and had snails, which didn't particularly enjoy that, but that's okay, tried it. And then blood sausage, which I actually really did like and was surprised. I can't remember how to say that in French, but it was much more elegant than blood sausage and enjoyed it a lot more than maybe really thinking about what was in there. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Michelle. Okay, Adonai, you wanna share?
Yeah, my name is Adonai Cuevas, and I'm the grant specialist for the Community Food Access Program. And I think the weirdest thing I've eaten, it's the fermented beans as well. So yeah, that's for me.
Thanks, Adonai. Okay, Barbara and Erica, you guys just joined. We are sharing our name, where we're from, and the strangest food we've ever eaten without yucking someone else's yum. We'll do you guys, and then we'll get started with the meeting. So Barbara, do you want to share?
Probably something when I was in Australia. I think they had crocodile. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Erica, would you like to go?
Probably crickets.
Good one. Cool. Thank you guys for, being open to sharing, being adventurous with your foods. Okay, we'll get started with the meeting. Let me drop the link to the agenda in the chat. And today the plan is to give you guys some updates, finish going through the application that we went through at the last meeting. We'll have plenty of time because we got through a lot of that application last month. So I'd love if you guys want to share more questions you have about it. I know a lot of you are kind of in the thick of working with businesses to meet that September 30th deadline for a tax credit. So we can get into that. And then we have some updates about how we are doing with the grant. So that's what we can expect for today. Okay, big notification here. The dates of the remaining meetings for these outreach and TA monthly meetings, we unfortunately need to shift for the rest of the year. I'm sorry to have to do this, but with the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holiday that a lot of folks observe, our meeting falls right before those holidays. So we're bumping it back 1 week in each of those cases. And then we have a conflict here on the CDA team on October 22nd. So instead of the 4th Wednesday of the month for the rest of the year, we're shifting to the 3rd Wednesday of the month. As always, we will record the meeting. So if you can't make it, that's totally fine. But just want to give everyone a big heads up about that. Any questions about that? Comments?
Which date was it?
So it's typically the 4th Wednesday of the month. So October's meeting was going to be on the 22nd, but now it's on the 15th. November's meeting was going to be on the 26th, but now it's on the 19th. And then December's meeting was going to be on the 24th, but now it's on the 17th.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Jay. Okay. Another reminder that our quarterly reports, so this was the first quarter of the state's fiscal year. That's just passed. It ended, or it's going to end at the end of September. And then you guys have a full month to submit your quarterly reports. So you're welcome to get them in early if you forget about what happened in the months from July to September. But the last day to complete them is October 31st. So just let me know when your spreadsheet is up to date. Okay, I know I always have this submit invoices reminder on here. I do just want to stress that this is still a long way away, our final deadline to submit invoices when this contract ends next December. But if we're not thinking about it now and we're not invoicing now, it could really creep up on us. And we have no wiggle room to reimburse invoices that come in after the final deadline, which is 2 weeks after the last invoice. So keep that in mind. Also on this topic, as we all know, you can't invoice us for something that's not in your contract budget. So if you want to make changes to your contract budget, make that request to me over email, or we can have a meeting about it in advance. We'll have you fill out, you know, a pretty simple revised budget. And we need to actually get the contracts re-signed. So yeah, I know a lot of us are kind of in the midst of rethinking certain things. As you can see, there's some new contractors part of our meeting today. So there are shifts. We need to make those adjustments before you invoice us. So yeah, I've spoken to a lot of you directly who I know are making changes, but if you're hearing this and thinking, oh, we want to shift the way we're spending funds towards this contract work, please reach out. Any questions about that? Okay, cool. So a couple CDA updates. As you all know, our next due date for the equipment tax credit and the consortium tax credit is September 30th. So yeah, that's meaningful, but there's also plenty of other chances to apply for a tax credit, whether it's December 31st or for equipment purchased in 2025. Folks have the rest of next year to apply. So if your businesses have already bought something, they're already using it, it could be great to get it in by the September 30th date so they can have their tax credit certificate in hand when they go to file their taxes and not have to request an extension. But yeah, if that's just not the case, then there are other opportunities to apply. So with the grant, we're pretty excited to almost be at 80% done, thanks in large part to a lot of the folks on this call who have been sitting down with, nudging, emailing, calling all of these grantees who still have paperwork to submit. So we're really excited to be nearing 100%. Our goal is to get to 100% by the end of the calendar year, which will be so exciting. So when we say done, we mean done with submitting all of the proof of purchase, proof of payment requirements. There is still one extra thing we ask of them, which we're going to talk about a lot more after, a little bit down in the agenda. So I'll save that for later. But I just want to thank all of you for your help supporting grantees. Another big thing to put on your radar is we are having our next consortium meeting on 10/10 at 10. Really like that it worked out that way. October 10th at 10 a.m. And we are having presentations from a number of businesses who have already received an equipment tax credit. So the purpose of this is for them to talk about what the process was like, provide concrete examples of what they bought, how they used it, how they demonstrated it, and then also to be able to talk about the part of the process that CDA can't really talk about, which is what was it like actually filing, working with the Department of Revenue, and did you get one of those denial letters that we've talked about in these meetings? If so, what did you do? What was that process like? If they're willing to share, what was the issue? And then did that ultimately resolve by following out that protest? So as you know, this is a real challenging pain point of this program because CDA doesn't have any control over how a business files. and what Department of Revenue's processes are. So it's really challenging, and we are not allowed to give tax advice. But if a business who received a tax credit willingly shares their own experience, that can be something that others can hear, learn from, perhaps take with a grain of salt. But we felt like this is the best way to kind of open up this discussion. So far, we have about 5 businesses ready to present. And we are just opening it up to anyone who wants to share their experience, even if they applied, didn't get it. We're hoping that this is just an honest discussion about what it is like interacting with this tax credit program. So I think this is going to be a really good experience for all of you to come and listen in, whether it's someone reporting out from your region or another region. I think there's a lot to be learned from it. So I've got the link here in the agenda to register if you like. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So any questions about that consortium meeting? Okay. Cool. Okay, another thing I wanted to let you know.
Interrupt. I'm so sorry. I just had a question. For this meeting for the consortium, are other folks who are interested in applying able to join, or is it kind of more internal?
Yeah, so the consortium is just for the consortium meetings are just for consortium members. If you have a business who maybe is interested in joining the consortium, it is an application that's pretty much like the first half of the tax credit equipment application. But you all are welcome to join. But yeah, these meetings are supposed to be for this consortium group. So yeah, however, we do record all of those meetings and keep them in their consortium member resource folder. So if someone joins later and they want to listen in to a past meeting, they'll have access to that. And Nemo, I'm happy to talk with you about any businesses who seem pretty interested in joining the consortium, whether they want to take advantage of the opportunities in the consortium or joining the consortium because they want to take advantage of an equipment tax credit or something like that. So good question.
I'm curious too, because I'm working with people who are working on becoming grocers and wanting to utilize the tax credit in the future. So I'm wondering, can I invite them to the consortium meetings?
Yeah, that's kind of similar to Nemo's question. So what has been on our list, and you guys may remember last year we hosted an information session for the public. That information session is now like so outdated as to be sort of useless because of the change to our application, the change to the process. So what we really need to do is host another public information session. So thank you guys for bringing this up as a real priority. And yeah, let's get something for the public out there before the end of the calendar year for sure. Thank you for making that more of an urgent priority for me. I'm just writing this down. Public information session. It will be, sort of the CDA version, right? Not the, hey, I'm someone who did this and here's my honest experience version. But yeah, we should, yeah. This is not an excuse, guys, but this is really impacting our capacity a lot. We have a really small team and we are working very hard to get these grantees to a place where they don't need to be audited. But I appreciate you guys bringing to my attention that this is a huge priority and we can't just put this aside. So, any other questions, comments about that? Okay. All right, so yeah, we'll get something on the books for an information session about the equipment tax credit that will be public, and I'll let you guys know when that is. Okay, I also wanted to bring to your attention that I just added a new subfolder in our contractor resources folder. So for those of you who are new, can you guys still see what I'm sharing, the Google Drive? Cool. Okay. So let me just back up for the purposes of showing folks who are new here what we have. This is a contractor resources folder. This is hopefully the one-stop shop for everything you need to learn about this program as a contractor doing outreach and technical assistance. So, this is a really helpful folder. This is all of our meeting agendas and all of the past recordings for meetings. We've got, of course, training materials, flyers. I added this folder so that we can all kind of read up on some grocery stores that have been featured in the news or kind of topical things. I shared this with you guys via email, but Safeway announced that they're closing 10 stores in Colorado, and a lot of them are in the southeast, but like all up and down the Front Range mostly. So this is important stuff that affects our work. So, I just wanted you to know that we're making a little folder here for your perusal. And if you guys see an article that you feel is really relevant to this work, feel free to let me know. And we can put it in that folder too. Okay. Any more comments or questions before we get into the tax credit application? Okay. So we're going to be looking at the application in English, but for those of you who want to follow along in Spanish, there's the link to the Spanish application. So last month we went, sorry, to log in again. Last month we went through the whole application, almost the whole application. So I'm kind of picking up where we left off. We got through most of the business information and the equipment sections. So at this point, we are just going over the acknowledgements, which is a short little section. But if you weren't able to make last month's meeting, we've got the recording of it in our folder. Okay, so acknowledgements. This is an acknowledgement that if you are a business that receives a tax credit, we're going to just put you right in the consortium. So folks can opt out of the consortium. They don't need to be members of the consortium, but this is checking this box. It's just saying I'll be added to this listserv and invited to these meetings. So it's basically what consortium membership involves. How much you want to come to those meetings or read the newsletters that come through the listserv or engage with the consortium, take advantage of those opportunities is up to them. But this is just an acknowledgement that we're signing them up and they're a member. Here's another opportunity for us to learn more about the impact you all are having. So, you know, encourage the folks that you help to say, let CDA know that you heard about this opportunity from me. And then again, if someone received technical assistance from you, encourage them to write that in there so that we can really begin to measure the impact of outreach in TA to a greater extent. Okay, this question, I am aware that if awarded, I will sign an attestation on behalf of my business, acknowledging that my business may be subject to monitoring for proper use of the funds. And if I should misuse or resell this equipment, it will impact my ability to receive future tax credits. So, for those of you who have been supporting tax credit recipients, you may have seen the attestation that they sign. It's essentially just stating, I agree to use this as I said I have and will. And it's the state's mechanism of just confirming that we are giving this tax credit out in good faith to businesses who plan to use it for the goals of the program. So this is just letting them know about that future attestation. That will be, oh yeah, Nemo, go ahead.
So I just had a question about the monitoring. Like what would that look like? I feel like if I, you know,
Yeah.
as a former business owner, if I saw that, I would be like, that kind of weirds me out. But
that's fair. Yeah.
Explain it.
It would be someone from our team visiting and saying, hey, yeah, let's see your equipment. Yeah, show us how your business functions. We've done a bunch of site visits. They're pretty informal. You know, between us, our small team doesn't even physically have the capacity to do that much monitoring, right? So this would be in a pretty extreme case if there's like suspected misuse. We reserve the right to go and say, hey, show us your business. So that's what that's like.
And like, you know, being able to look at their like things like bank statements and or anything like that, or is it more just like in person visually being able to see the equipment is there being used for what it's saying it's being used for?
We are not qualified to do a financial audit of a business. We would not be going into their books. The bank statements we are looking at is the proof that you bought the equipment, and that's it. And that is in this application. So yeah, we don't really have the authority nor the skill set to go out and say, we need to see your books.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Any other questions about that? Okay. This next acknowledgement is, you know, if we do site visits and we take pictures, you know, we can use them for newsletters. People can say no to this. They don't have to say yes. So unlike some of these other questions where there's no option, there is a no option here. So, but it really reduces a lot of back and forth if we can just look and say, oh, are these folks okay with us posting pictures instead of, delaying communications because we're waiting for an approval. So that's what that's all about. And then this is sort of some legal language that says, I am a person who has the legal authority to submit an application on behalf of this business. So yeah, this is kind of just to prevent someone trying to apply for a tax credit on behalf of a business that they don't own or they don't have the authority to, be applying for. It would be very weird for that to happen, but we just have it in here to protect everybody. So that's the acknowledgements page.
Sorry,
You'll
Nikki,
note-
quick question.
Yeah.
So that means that the actual store owner is the one who's filling this out, we're not helping them do that. Is that right?
Let me talk to our AG, but I think we talked through the fact that it's okay for TA providers to get that approval from the business as long as they have their the name here and the contact information here. But it's okay if you're logging and you're doing the typing, but you know, this is the applicant, whoever puts their name there.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. That's a good question. Any other questions about this page?
Hey, Mickey, I'm assuming the answer to this is no, but I just wanted to make sure. Is there any reason why a business applying for a tax credit from last year who needs to file a protest in order to submit that tax credit? Is there any reason why they would need to file for the protest before they file for the tax credit? Is that a tax question?
That's a Department of Revenue question.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I would say it doesn't hurt to submit. Okay, no, I mean, I can answer that. No, we're not asking anything about we're not asking anything about when you file, if you're late, anything about that. All we're asking in this application is, have you bought equipment that is worthy of this tax credit? So I would say no, we are not needing to confirm that they've filed an extension or submitted a protest to fill this out.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. Thank you.
Yeah. Great questions. Okay, are there any questions about any other question on this application or anything that's been coming up while you guys are supporting businesses?
Probablemente mi pregunta ya la hicieron, pero solamente quiero, no sé, a lo mejor es preguntar y compartir. Tenemos un negocio que el año pasado estuvimos visitando para darle información. Yo hablé con los empleados, dejé los documentos y parece ser, la semana pasada me di cuenta que los empleados nunca pasaron la información al dueño del lugar. El dueño se acaba de enterar, está muy emocionado porque el año pasado él compró bastante equipo y otra tienda pequeña en otra ciudad. Pero la cosa es que eso lo hizo el año pasado, entonces no sé cómo pudiéramos ayudar porque él desconocía de todo esto y es triste, ¿no? Porque no le pudimos dar la información a tiempo. O intentamos, pero no se pudo.
Yeah, great. I think that's been a lot of experiences with a lot of TA providers is they go and talk to someone and realize that, oh, I'm not talking to the right person. So I don't think all is not lost, because you can apply for equipment purchase this year in 2025, but down here, you can still apply for equipment purchased in 2024. You can see there's plenty of money left to give out in tax credits. the hard part, and the part that we're not very helpful with, is we've got to make sure that they file in order to benefit from any of this, they need to, file a protest, kind of like Taylor was saying. They need to get it applied to their 2024 taxes. So they may have already filed those 2024 taxes. There is a process to get it applied to pass taxes, but it's a process through the Department of Revenue. So I would strongly encourage you to support this business to see if they can get something in through this 2024 application. And just note that the very last day that they could submit an application for that equipment that they bought is December 31st, 2025.
Okay. Tengo cita con un contador esta tarde para ver qué se puede hacer, cómo podemos ayudarle, pasar información para que a la vez él pueda hablar con su contadora y ver qué es lo que se puede hacer. Porque sí, es muy triste. Son casi $170,000 invertidos en los negocios pequeños. Entonces, el beneficio sería realmente sustancial.
Yeah, I agree. I really hope that they can apply. And please let us know if you're having questions while you're working with them. You can just email us as you're working with them. You can call us. We definitely want to help you support this business to try to get this tax credit. So thanks for bringing this up.
And sorry, Mickey, is that link for filing the protest, is that what is linked that we're seeing here when it says please reach out to the Department of Revenue for more information? Or where did they find that?
This is a link to the Department of Revenue's website. And I wish that we could be more helpful in directing people to the exact process they need to complete. But the Department of Revenue has told us it's too individualized, like different businesses, different individuals file on different timelines, have different parameters, and it's too much for us to be able to communicate. And at the risk of sharing wrong information, anything related to taxes, we should direct them to the Department of Revenue. So this is a link just to the Department of Revenue site that, here we can go to it. So this is the ask for help section of their website. So this is where you can ask direct questions about, this is my situation, what do I do? So that's where that link goes.
I have a link to their protest process. Can I put that in the chat?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
It's not super detailed, but at least is a place to start.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Yeah, I was just going to add, the businesses that I've worked with often have people who do their taxes for them. And so I would refer them to the person that's filing their taxes to help with that.
Yeah.
Because it seemed, when I met with this person's tax person, and once I explained to him what the issue was, he knew what to do. So
yes,
I don't know if that's something an individual business person should be doing on their own. I would refer that to somebody who actually does their taxes.
Right. So that's our line. Work with a CPA and reach out to Department of Revenue. So yeah, Carly, go ahead.
Kind of in the same vein of that, I've gotten similar questions from folks saying, well, how do I do this tax-wise? And I'm like, well, I have no idea. do you guys have some sort of, I mean, would all CPAs or tax folks kind of understand this or have experience with it? Or is this something just in your experience that they've not dealt with before? Because my guys keep asking me, you know, do people know this exists? Does my CPA know this or not? Kind of question. So Jennifer, maybe you've had experience with that too.
Well, what I had to do was clarify the difference between federal and state taxes, right? The CPA needed to be aware that this is a state of Colorado program. So people should do their federal taxes. It's only the state where this rebate is coming from. So I'm working with a guy right now who put a hold on his 2024 taxes, or what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't pay them. He got an extension. Yeah. So just make sure you clarify with people that this is a Colorado tax rebate. It's not federal. So they should do their federal taxes. Don't wait for this. Some businesses pay their taxes quarterly, some pay them annually. So again, that's up to their CPA and how their CPA or their tax person files for them. So just make sure you clarify that this is a Colorado only tax credit.
Really good point, Jennifer. And Carly, you know, I can't really speak to what all CPAs know, but if you've ever filed your own taxes and when you get to the state section, you can see Colorado has a ton of tax credit programs. So if they are a CPA that's been working in this state for a while, and been working with businesses for a while, and we've talked about this before, but the reason why Colorado has so many tax credit programs is because of Tabor. The state has a limit on how much it can collect in taxes and then use sort of at its discretion. So these tax credit programs are a very common thing in the state. That said, this is a new one. So I don't know if folks, I know that just because someone is working with a CPA, it doesn't mean it's been an easy breezy process, right? Like there's still a learning curve there. And I'm really hopeful that in our consortium meeting on 10/10/10, folks will say, here's where my CPA was confused. We're not going to make that mistake in the future, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's what most people have asked me is just, do people know how to deal with this? And I'm like, I don't know. I've heard success stories, but I could recommend some folks locally that I know have worked with it, but that's about all I can do. And yeah, I also don't know anything. I don't know nearly as much as a CPA. That is wild. But
well, I think you're in good company on that front. A lot of us are, not experts on how to file taxes. So we don't want to ask you guys to do something that you're not qualified to do. So it's one of the biggest challenges of this program is actually getting, earning the credit is something that happens with CDA, but actually receiving it is something that happens with DOR. And you can do every part of the process perfectly with CDA, but still run into some issues with DOR. And we're very, very, very limited in how much we can support in a general way, giving general advice about how to deal with DOR, which is a problem.
The joys of bureaucracy. Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah. We're working with the system that we have, and we're really lucky to have all of you on this team. It would certainly not be as successful as it is without you guys because of all the difficulties navigating the whole system. Okay, any other questions about the application or anything? involved with the tax credit.
I have a question, Miss Barbara. I have a question about recommending somebody to somebody for their taxes, because if you recommend somebody and then they wind up having a problem with that tax person, and somehow that might not be great. I don't know. That was just a thought I had.
Yeah.
Like a particular person that like, oh, this, I'm not sure what we should do about that.
Yeah. Has anyone else navigated a situation where you feel like, oh, if I match this person up with this CPA that I know, I think it will be good, but I think in all of this work, Barbara, you guys are all in the tough situation of trying to like lead a horse to water, but you really can't make them drink. And I think it is really important to remind them, this is your choice. This is your business. I'm here to help along the way. But if you feel that this is too risky, you feel that this isn't a good fit, yeah, we can't force them. Anyway, go ahead.
Y solamente para compartir que nosotros tenemos una persona de impuestos que hemos contratado para ayudar a los negocios. Cuando nosotros la introducimos, a ambas partes decimos que ellos son responsables de la comunicación y pues que el asunto es confidencial. ¿Por qué mencionamos esto? Porque sabemos que muchas veces los negocios no nos están diciendo toda la verdad y no tienen que, ¿verdad? Son sus cosas. Y la persona de impuestos, si las cosas no están correctas, no va a estar haciendo algo que no esté correcto. O a lo mejor se da cuenta de cosas que los negocios no nos estén diciendo. Entonces, siempre lo dejamos de esa manera. Hasta ahorita todo ha salido bien, pero siempre lo ponemos que es una persona de impuestos solamente para revisar y solamente eso. Entonces, de este lado ha resultado muy, muy positivo y sí, es un asunto un poco delicado. Gracias.
All right, thank you for sharing. That sounds like a very good system you have. Any other comments or questions? Jennifer, thank you so much for bringing up that or stressing that point about this is a state tax credit. That is definitely a common misconception. I don't know if the rest of you have come into that, but state taxes, not
Most of us
federal.
don't know the difference. I mean, honestly, when you say taxes, it's just a word that, automatically makes you unsettled. And I work with a lot of immigrants who really don't know the difference between state and federal. And that's just because that's the way our system is set up. And there's nobody out there really explaining it. So it's, when I had the conversation with the CPA, I realized, oh, he's not getting this is just a Colorado thing. So I just kind of thought that was a point that you should be really explaining it, that this is the state of Colorado giving you this money, not the federal government. I mean, ultimately, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jennifer. Okay. Feel free to bring up more questions if they pop into your head. I'm going to shift gears to talk about the grant impact report. So this is a report that we send to grantees ideally 1 year after they've purchased so we're totally shifting gears, guys. Sorry for those of you who are new. We talked about the tax credit, boom, in the past. We are now talking about grantees. So businesses that got a small food recovery and resilience grant. So we are 77% done. So 77% of these businesses have spent all their money, proven it in the way that we need them to. But now there's sort of like this waiting period of about a year for them to use that equipment that they bought with the grant before we send them a little survey. And the survey should be pretty short and sweet. We designed it to be pretty quick and to the point. A lot of questions are optional. If they want to expand upon the impact, they certainly can. But yeah, it's pretty quick to actually get to the bare bones of what we're asking here. So this is important. We do really want to measure the impact of our grant, as we all want to do. But this is not the kind of thing that they will be audited or will come and claw back the money if they don't complete. So in all of your minds, I want you to know that yeah, if they've finished their proof of payment submission and they just can't bring themselves to complete this grant impact report, they will not have any negative ramifications. The program will, because we won't be measuring what the impact of that money was. So we do really want to encourage people to fill it out, but they will not be penalized if they don't. So I really want to stress that. Like I mentioned, we want them to honestly report back on a year since they spent all of their money and installed all their equipment. How has that gone in the past? Not projecting to the future, in the past. So to keep you guys up to date on where everyone's at, we are going to utilize those spreadsheets. You may remember these spreadsheets. They're shared individually with each of you. And they have all of the applicants on the spreadsheet, and we've kind of filtered it so that we're only looking at the awardees. There's 2 tabs, there's round 1, round 2. And we have highlighted each one with a different color, and we've added some colors to the mix here. So I'm going to go through each color and let you know what that means. So these 4 we know already. So someone that's highlighted in red is at risk of an audit. If they are red, we will be talking with you about how to support them. We will be together coming up with a plan to help this business avoid an audit. So yeah, if someone's in red, there's probably other discussion happening via email. Orange is sort of nearing risk of an audit. We may get to a point where we reach out to you and say, okay, this business is this is their last chance. So yeah, all of this shouldn't be news to you guys. And we're getting a lot of people to the yellow and the green place. Yellow means they're not at risk of an audit because they've been communicating with us, but they're also not done with their grant. So the yellow is sort of like, they've told us when they expect to complete their spending, and we're on track with that. Green is they finished. Green is what we mean when we say 77% done. We have 77% green, which is so cool. They're done with all that required stuff that if they don't do, they're out of the hot water. They're out of risk of being audited. So this is a really good, safe, happy place to be. Okay, but the new colors we've added are blue. Blue means we've sent them an evaluation form because it's been about a year since they spent all their money, but they haven't completed it yet. So we've highlighted things in blue so that if you are connecting with this business, you can give them a gentle nudge. You can say, hey, did you fill out that grant impact report that Nikki and Adonai sent you? Especially if you're talking to a business and they're telling a story about the impact of some of the equipment they bought with the grant. Yeah, we'd love if they wrote that down and sent it to us so that we can measure that. So that's what blue means. I think a lot of these businesses will be highlighted in blue in the coming 6 months. And then if they are highlighted in black, this is the highest level of achievement of our grant program. They have submitted everything, they've been sent the eval, and they've filled it out. So they are truly actually really done. And Dolores, did you have a question? Okay, maybe not. So here's the instruction for those in blue. You know, if you have a relationship with this business owner, we'd love if you supported us in getting as many of these grant impacts reports filled out, and give them a little nudge. No worries, Dolores. If you don't have a relationship with a business, I am just going to say right now, this is not so important as, you know, as to encourage you guys to go there and kind of cold call them to get them to fill this out. I would say, yeah, don't worry about that. But if you are already in connection with them, already talking with them, already in relationship with them, and you want to give them a nudge, we'd love that. If you see them in person, you can completely fill it out on their behalf with their consent. And then I am sharing the links here with the caveat that if someone is not blue yet, they haven't even received it from us yet. So you don't need to go talking to folks who are still in green, yellow, orange, or red, saying, did you fill this out? Let's fill it out together. They're not quite ready for it. So giving you the links just so you have them, but know that you don't, you should only really be pushing this to folks in blue. So another note is, you know, we really want to showcase the true impact of these funds. We want them to be honest. In no way do we want you to like fluff up the the results or their sales numbers to make this grant look like it did more than it did. We want them to be honest. We're sending this to everyone, whether they had an impact or not. So yeah, I just want to mention that too. Are there any questions about the spreadsheet and where we'll be updating this, or the grant impact report? I'm happy to open this up and look at it with you guys if you want.
So just to clarify, we should expect businesses to stay green for about a year before they move blue?
Yeah, we're saying 6 months to
okay. Okay. And I don't know if it would be possible to like add to the spreadsheet for our green folks that we maybe don't remember how long they've been green for, like when it's expected for them to get a survey, or we'll just check in every couple weeks and like see when they go blue.
Yeah, Adonai and I have a reminder for ourselves in the last week of the month to update the spreadsheet. So that's the frequency you can expect with updating. If you want to reach out to us and say, hey, it's been 3 weeks and I'm going to visit this business tomorrow, could you tell me where they're at? Then that's great. That's fine. But you know, this does change by the moment in the red, orange, yellow case. So it is, you know, it is tough to keep it updated and current to the day unless we were in there every single day. So does that help give you guys a sense of how frequently the spreadsheets will be updated?
Yes.
Thanks.
And
okay.
One question there, Mickey, sorry, is so when they get to that point where they're in the green and it's time for them to head to blue, are you guys sending them email updates of it's time, or is that something that is on their end?
We
only?
send it to them.
Awesome. Okay. So they're aware of when they hit that point. Okay.
Yes. They get an email that says, like, the last step for your grant is to fill this out. Should take about 15 minutes. If you forgot what this grant was all about, here is your attestation you signed. And then, it's also another opportunity to remind them that they still have benefits through the consortium. So it's kind of like a sign out email that we will likely send to them a few times if they haven't filled it out. But again, there's not so much at stake as if they are non-responsive regarding the proof of purchase and proof of payment piece.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I'm very new to this, so sorry if these are stupid questions, but thank you.
No, they're definitely not stupid questions. And I think it's definitely very confusing between the grant and the tax credit. So, Nemo.
Hi, sorry, I don't know if I missed this. I'm kind of assuming that we don't have these yet, but are the spreadsheets something that everybody already has, or you guys are working on those?
The spreadsheets live with the main contractor in each group. So Hallie would, be the one to share that spreadsheet with you. So yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say for Denver Metro folks, I'll share it in our email. But if you haven't been working with the grantee that has been in the like red and yellow, then you might not have seen it yet.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks for that question. Any other questions? Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I had on the agenda for today. I kind of shuffled some of our, these priorities, started doing that back when we were in such limbo with the tax credit rule change. But we can go through this again. And you can see where I put the grant impact report in your list of priorities. So maybe that's helpful. But supporting grantees, and at this point, there's just a few. But if all of our biggest priorities right now are helping red grantees avoid an audit and clawback. So that's a big priority. And then doing tax credit outreach and consortium outreach, kind of, I would say, a secondary priority to that. But if you don't have anyone in your region who is a grantee that needs a lot of help, then yeah, these are your main priorities. Grant impact report is lower below that. And then, just always building those relationships and trust with those good fit businesses that you identified in your strategic plans. And yeah, keeping up to date with what's going on in your communities like you all do. So, Angela.
Yeah, I wanted to wait until kind of the end because this is pretty off topic. But so my main question is around SNAP and how we help retailers with their SNAP accounts, updating things. I'm just so the issue that I'm running into with just one store is they don't know if their address is updated. They moved locations. Is there some sort of retailer portal that they log into. I called the number, but then the number is on hold forever. I had them call me back, but that was hours later. And like, you can't really just sit at the store and wait for hours. And then when I did speak with them, they said, because I'm not on the account, they wouldn't even talk to me. So like, how are people actually helping with like SNAP support?
So this group and this contract work is really focused on supporting businesses with the grant and the tax credit, and supporting businesses and becoming SNAP authorized is not like explicit work, but I know a lot of folks on this call have done this kind of thing. So if you have any advice for Angela, go for it.
I would just weigh in that one of our team members who can't be here today, she has also had similar issues trying to talk to FNS on the phone and not being able to get information because she is not the store owner. But there's like a language barrier, and so she has provided, like, what she has been able to do is just like provide very detailed, like, here are the things you need to ask them. And here is the number with the Spanish language line, and just like laying it out, documenting it in writing for the store owner so that she can have the best chance of doing that. Because in our experience, we're not able to do any kind of anything like that. It has to be the store owner.
So the reason I'm even trying to help this store owner specifically is that she just does not have the time to mess with it. Like, she works 2 jobs, she works nights and has her store and has like 4 to 5 children. And so really I'm trying to like do a thing that she needs done and doesn't have the time to do. But no one knows, like, there's not a portal or something that the SNAP retailers have access to. Is that not a thing?
I'm going to jump in and say, no, it's not. Unfortunately, this is a federal government office that you're calling. I have found that calling first thing in the morning, not on a Monday, but like on a Thursday morning, the wait time is less. But I usually call with the client so that they can give permission for the person to speak to me. But no, there's no portal. There's no other way to reach these people. This is our government at work.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's helpful.
You may also find out that she has to do a whole new application because she moved her store. I don't know if there's a possibility of just changing the address. I think you actually, Laura is shaking her head. I think she may actually have to do a whole new application for her new location.
Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing this wisdom and your experience. We are really lucky that a lot of you in this group have done both, TA with SNAP and TA with this. So yeah, and I too am continually surprised at how challenging it is for someone to receive SNAP as an individual, and that's going to get harder, and how challenging it is to become a SNAP authorized store. Nemo, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just was thinking of with SNAP. I know with this program, they just have to show the like intent, like with their like have submitted an application for SNAP. And so I'm just wondering, how do they show that? Like, Is there some kind of confirmation email or something that they get after they submit their application?
Yeah, and Nemo, that's only relevant for farm direct operations. So grocery stores don't have to prove that. I mean, we do ask about it, but that's not a requirement, an eligibility requirement in the legislation. So this is only for a farm that has a farm stand or CSA, something like that, that needs to demonstrate the intent to become SNAP authorized. And they do that by sending us their application. So that's been pretty straightforward for folks, but what hasn't been straightforward is like actually becoming SNAP authorized after that. But in order to access the community food access programs, just sending the application is sufficient.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, thank you. I got that mixed up. And then I saw someone else's question in the chat about helping retailers benefit from the delivery reimbursement. I'm wondering if that's like I think maybe one that I know of is one of the hubs that supports with those free deliveries is Hardy Provisions. But I don't know if that's the right answer to that question, if I'm understanding it.
Thanks, Nemo. I think Monique is referring to the Community Food Consortium tax credit. So there's a tax credit just for consortium member retailers who receive deliveries, and they can submit quite a bit of paperwork, but they can get a tax credit on their delivery fees. So let Monique know or let us all know if you've helped someone with this. Monique, I can say there have been a number of businesses that have taken advantage of this opportunity, but they have not, to my knowledge, they have not utilized the support of a TA provider. I would really like to do a similar thing with that we're doing in the next consortium meeting where, applicants and recipients talk about their experience. I would love to do that with the consortium delivery fee tax credit. And maybe I can see if I can reach out to folks to see if they would share their experience in the next meeting if we have time. But yeah.
And those applications are also due at the same deadline.
Yeah.
And it can be for any delivery fee that's eligible from the moment they became a consortium member onward.
That's a good question. I almost feel like if they became a consortium member today, they could still apply. But, they were the same business last year. They could still submit their fees from 2024.
Only if they were planning to redo their 2024 taxes.
Yes.
Okay. So any delivery fee, any eligible delivery fee for at any point in 2025 for an eligible consortium member can be submitted through September 30th.
Yes.
And it's not through the online portal, it's a PDF proof submission.
Well, it is through an online portal, but yes, it's basically a link that says, who are you, what's your name, what's your consortium number, upload your packet. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna help someone on Thursday figure all that out. So yeah, if there was someone who's been through it, that'd be great, but we'll figure it out together.
You can reach out to me, and with any questions, I'm happy to kind of walk through it if you like. Unfortunately, there's just not there's not a simple way to get through the fact that it's a lot of paperwork. Yeah. But I'm happy to walk through it.
Alrighty. Okay, thanks.
Carly.
I was just curious. So you just said that, so there are people utilizing that for the deliveries, but that nobody has been assisted by technical assistant providers. Do you think there's a reason for that? Or is it just I don't know.
I have
That's
my theories.
I'm surprised.
I have my theories. And this is speculation, so just take it with a grain of salt. But for a lot of retailers, they don't necessarily have delivery fees that are separate charge. Like the cost of it all is wrapped up into the price of the food. So for a lot of businesses, it may not be worth all of the time scanning hundreds maybe of receipts if you're only going to get a tax credit that's like $100. Another thing is a lot of these retailers don't even receive deliveries. They go and pick up food from a wholesaler and then sell it in their store. So that's another reason why a lot of our retailers are just not even eligible for the tax credit. So there are a handful of there we go. Erica says none of our stores trust deliveries. So it's sort of a different situation in the Denver metro versus some of the more rural areas. There are certain distributors who have massive delivery fees. Those are the retailers who are most inclined and most incentivized to get a tax credit because the tax credit is like $20,000 over the course of the year, right? They're incurring that many, they're paying that many delivery fees, that much in delivery fees. So my sense is people are weighing the, is this worth my time? And going from there. I will also say that the folks who have taken advantage of these consortium tax credits are pretty savvy business-wise. We have a number of business owners who are CPAs themselves. So, yeah, that's the trend that I have seen with the consortium tax credit. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm really excited to hear that Monique is supporting someone taking advantage of this because it probably will feel worth their time if they have some support. So, yeah.
Cool. Interesting. Thank you.
Okay, we are right at 11:30. If you want to hang around and ask questions, I can stick around. If not, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Allie. That was very helpful. Thanks, Emo.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Just wanted to confirm, Adonai, I sent you the final change form and documentation for Athmar Mart. Just wanted to make sure that all came through okay.
Yes, yeah, Taylor, thank you. Yeah, we have received it and we are reviewing but yeah, I'll get
Great.
back to you as soon as we can.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, that's it for me. Have
Thanks,
a good rest of the day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mickey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I just sent you and Adonai an email. La Barada just asked me if they could get their tax credit reward letter, like another copy of it. They've lost it and they just want to make sure they have it saved.
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
easy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I guess I'm not seeing it. Did you just send it right now? I don't see
I
it.
sent it during the meeting, just a quick email.
Okay. Okay. If I don't see it, I'll just reach out to you, but
Okay.
that's not a problem.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Chelsea and Aiva, anything you want to talk about? All right. We'll end this meeting.